I'm pulling up to Bones Adams. I get a call from Markel, and Markel's like, yo, man, I don't know what's going on, but like Tyson's pissed about something. I don't know. Like just be on your toes. Like, okay, great. It's like, I'm terrified. I walk into this fucking training session. Dewey kind of wrote out like the workout set, or just the format of the workouts. So I was like, hey, Mr. Tyson, here's what Dewey wrote out. I was like, man, fuck that workout.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Verse Us with Eric Nixick. He is Eric Nixick. I am Randy Famerich, and this is Verse Us. Verse Us with Eric Nixick is presented by Macros Gelato, a high-protein gelato with 60 grams of protein per pint with high-quality dairy and whey protein isolate designed to aid muscle recovery and growth. Macros Gelato is available beginning in August online at macrosgelato.com. Now, Eric, what's up, man?
What's up?
How
Nice
you doing?
laptop, bro.
Yeah,
Good.
thanks. I'm going to keep this here for the rest of time. Sponsor me, somebody. Man, all right, so we had an idea of what we were going to start with and how we were going to get into it, but we got some breaking news. Vic, maybe we can get a little breaking news soundbite at some point. But Joe Biden has just dropped out of the presidential race. I feel like a lot of people saw this coming. Yeah. And then just now, again, breaking news, Kamala, which maybe isn't breaking news, will step in and be the Democratic nominee. Just thoughts on that real quick? Like, it's kind of just such a crazy time.
I mean, bro, who's been running the country for the last 4 years anyway?
I know,
because you know it's not Biden, bro.
I know.
Like, who's behind the curtain?
Dude, I tell you what, I don't think, and he's always been, you know, a little aloof or whatever, but like, how steep was that decline, or how sharp was that decline? Because I feel like when he was doing debates in 2020, he at least was coherent.
Sure.
He could make a sentence or two.
Sure.
And like that debate a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, like,
yeah, it was bad.
The decline was just so rapid. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
What if it was all by design?
Oh, here we go. Let's get into the conspiracies.
Let's get in that rabbit hole, boys. Yeah, I mean, what if it was all by design?
Honestly,
you know what I mean? Like, hey, let's just let him do his thing and let him trip over his own feet.
It has to be. Like, how do they send him out there like that? How do they send him out there like that and not know that he is going to completely shit the bed? Like, to your point, I mean, it's hard to think that it wasn't by design.
But I mean, like, this is what we got?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we got right now, bro.
I know.
You know, and like, I mean, obviously, you know, you I don't know, like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, this is what we got?
It's pretty crazy. Vic, what do you think? What's your thoughts on Biden? I feel like we all kind of knew it was coming, especially after that debate. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, to your earlier point about like Biden being okay during the first election, like look at Obama pre and after he got into office. Yeah. Like, it aged them by like 20 years.
It ages
so when you age somebody from 70 to 90, it's a lot. 3 years. You know, so that's 3 times that mention.
But you're about to feel this. It's like that new parent. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You look like you need some sleep, homie. Yeah, it's that new parent mode.
Yeah.
But we were even talking about this a little bit off air, man, and it kind of goes to show, like, out of everybody, the only person I have seen not affected and actually grow younger with the presidency is Trump. He came in 5 years younger after his first term.
Yeah.
He's
you know,
vigorous.
So it's like
out,
it takes a certain type of person, and definitely. But it happened too late. Like, you know, and like they kind of put themselves in a corner. Like, they have to run Kamala. Like, they can't not run her because of everything going on. So it's like they painted themselves in a corner, and now they're kind of stuck.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, where like how I was talking about before, like Donald Trump with his VP pick of J.D. Vance, like there was other picks he could have chosen that would guarantee those swing state wins.
Right.
But instead he chose somebody who was younger, smarter, and could very easily be the future of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Whereas Biden chose Kamala because she's a black female.
Yep.
You know, and the same thing chose Pete Buttigieg as the interior, whatever his job is, because he's a gay person. You know, a gay, however we say it these days. So it's like no offense.
Careful.
But, careful. But you know,
you're being accusatory right now.
This is all the opinions of me, my
Yes.
opinions. But they painted themselves in a corner, and I'm interested to see who she picks as a running mate.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to ask. Like, who do you think? Like, I mean, there can't be that many options. There's got to be Newsom. What was the guy? Shapiro.
Josh Shapiro.
Yeah, if she picks Newsom, bro, she's gonna get smoked.
Yeah, 100%.
He has a terrible track record.
Yeah.
The only person I think right now, realistically, who can win, especially this late in the race, and she will never do it, is Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
She would walk away. Michelle Obama or The Rock. Like, those are like the two who would walk away with the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, your candy ass can't run this country.
Basically, but I just...
that would be hilarious.
I don't know who they would pick. She has a terrible track record.
Yeah.
I was just listening to this podcast series by The Daily Wire, who I listen to on occasion, on like her history and stuff like that, and like just how she came to office and everything is so sketch. And now that she's running for president, it's going to be brought right to the front, to the limelight.
Bro, I don't know enough about all this political. I just don't. But here's what I usually do: is any of my friends that are current military, who do you want?
Yeah.
In office,
like,
and tell me why. Like, I just want to hear, like, the people that are defending our country matter to me the most. That's the honest to God truth. Who do you feel the safest? Who do you feel that gives you the best opportunity to do your job? Okay, that's who you like. Thank you. You know, it might not be the best way, but I want the dudes that are men and women that are defending our country. I want to hear what they have to say about, who they want in office, and that's usually I go with. Yeah.
We're not a political show. Obviously, none of us know that much about politics or have any kind of crazy firm stances, but it's definitely topical. It just happened 30 minutes ago. I feel like we have to touch on it. But crazy time for the country. Crazy like to your point earlier, like, This is our best. This is what we got. Like, this is our best effort.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what?
The Apprentice or fucking Kamala. Like, it's kind of wild. But man. Crazy time. We'll kind of keep track of this. Obviously, this week, I think Biden said he's going to address the country. God bless him when he does that.
I hope he goes off, bro. Yeah. I want it like a Tom Brady celebrity roast exit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Let's just go off.
Can you imagine? That would be incredible.
I know where all the dead bodies are buried. Like,
tell us, please. Oh, man. All right, let's get into how we were originally going to start the show. And that is with this past weekend, UFC Apex. Was supposed to be a big week for you and Brad. Had some stuff happen with Brad and his opponent. Kind of what happened with that whole thing?
I got a call from Brad. He weighed in, did his medicals. And then Brad just texted on the group chat. He's like, fuck us out. I was like, what? What happened? And he's like, bro, he had MRSA. And I was like, really? Like, MRSA, staph, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
staph, right? It's like a form of staph.
Well, it's a hyper-aggressive form of staph.
Right. Skin to skin, contagious and airborne, all kind of stuff.
I don't know if a pre-fight medical can tell you if it's MRSA or not. I mean, they could tell if it's a skin infection or something doesn't look right or doesn't look good. And they pulled him. The athletic commission pulled Park, said, no, bro, you can't fight with that. So it must have been pretty bad.
Yeah. Do you know where it was?
I didn't find out.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, scrap, bro. Let's beat him up. If he's got it, you ain't going to be feeling good.
Yeah.
But, just take a shower after. I don't know.
How does that, so explain to me and the audience, like, how do you even get to that stage? How do you get this close to the fight with having something like that? Like, because obviously with staph, we've seen guys fight before, right? Yeah. Makachev recently, Kevin Lee, remember that thing on his chest against Ferguson? We've seen people do it before. Sure. But MRSA is like the hyper-aggressive stage of that. How do you even get to Friday morning without someone seeing that? And like,
well, and again, like, MRSA is like I think that you have to have like a blood test to check that.
Oh, really?
For somebody to say that they had MRSA or like you knew it was MRSA, I would just, for the sake of it, I would say it was staph because like a pre-fight medical, you're not going to know if that's MRSA or not. Yeah. Right? MRSA is hyper-aggressive form of staph. Like, it can kill you, bro. Yeah. Like, you're going to the hospital. You're going to be in the hospital for a while.
Do you know if he was transported or anything?
I don't think it was like that. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But now here's the thing. You might have had, some skin element, something going on. But what might have brought it out worse was the weight cut. Yeah. Right? Because you're zapping your system, your body's tired, whatever, and that might have made it a little bit more aggressive at the moment. Mm-hmm. They might have saw it and said, like, dude, you can't fight with that. It might have been discharging. It might have been crap coming out of it. Who knows? Ugh. But at the end of the day, man, the tough part about it is, here's a guy, both guys, 8-week camp, be ready to fight. Then you made weight. That's the worst part. You made weight. You did the cut. You did everything you're supposed to do. You stepped on the scales. You know, it's an unfortunate part of the sport. It does happen.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were asking, like, hey, does Brad get paid?
That's what my next question was going to be.
Does Brad get paid?
At least the show portion of it.
Usually, and again, this is up to the promoter's discretion. They don't have to pay you.
Yeah.
I've seen guys, I'll give you an example. Uriah Hall versus Vitor Belfort. Uriah Hall passed out in my arms, walking down, we're going into the elevator to go weigh in. And as he got in the elevator, he got like syncope, fell back, caught him, and his kidneys were shutting down on him, right?
Wow.
Vitor Belfort had already made weight. He'd already stepped on the scale, made weight. From my understanding, whether this is true or not, but from my understanding, because Vitor was vocal about it, that he did not get paid.
Yeah.
Well, there was no fight, right? So I don't know. Now, think about this. Who knows what the show money is for a guy like Vitor?
Yeah.
Might have been a lot of money. They're like,
figures.
bro, we ain't paying you.
I mean, you would hope it was.
Right.
You would hope.
You would hope.
I mean,
you would hope.
For a guy like Vitor.
Exactly. So, you know, but the promotion is done right. I think more times than not.
Yeah.
I think that's what they'll do. They'll give Brad the show money.
Yeah.
It's happened a few times with our guys. They've gotten paid their show money. Thanks for everything. Sorry, we'll rebook you right away.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to get that rebooked. We like the matchup. You game planned 8 weeks for this guy.
Right.
You know, you're right there at the doorstep to fight. So hopefully they remake it. Sometime quit. You know, we were even talking to Brad, like, yo, jump on the plane to Manchester with me tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, if they wanted to rebook it for then, but obviously, you know, the guy's got staff. He's not going to be ready.
Did they give you any inclination on like a timeline?
August 10th was what we were told. If they can rebook it, that's what they want to try to rebook it.
Is that Vegas?
I think it's Vegas, yeah. So it still fits. It fits the thing. The problem is like, you know, when you have a fight, you're a fighter, you have a fight, you schedule your fight, you're usually scheduling your vacations and stuff directly after that fight. So Brad had a vacation, a wedding, and all this stuff August 10th, but, you know, the fights is what pays the bills. So
the real quick, going back to the getting paid your show money if you don't fight, is there any clear definition of when show is? Like, is show on the scale? Is show when the cage door closes? Is show at the arena? Like, what is show?
I think it's when you make weight.
I would think so.
I think
because
it's when
that's
you make
the
weight.
First fight.
But,
really,
you know, remember, this is the mafia. They write the rules, man. They write the rules. I've seen the rules change over time.
For sure is the mafia.
I've seen Natan Levy, right? Natan in Charlotte technically never had to step on the scale because his opponent got pulled the night before, right?
Yep.
And they paid Natan his show and his win. But remember, he's on the lower pay scale.
Cheaper,
so it's like, okay, take care of this kid because, you know, what is he making? 48,000, whatever it was. I don't know the numbers, but so that's a little bit easier to pay something like that. But like if you got a guy who's, you know, a main eventer, because somebody asked me, do you think Chandler got paid? No way. Maybe a little.
For 303?
Yeah.
Hell
like,
no.
Not a, like,
that's a different, that's a different case. Yeah, that's a different case.
But I mean, you know, the UFC's been good at like, hey, I need a little bit of money to help me get through some of this camp. Sure, we'll pay a little bit, and you're gonna pay us back on the back end.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Because I mean, you would think like, let's say Dan doesn't do what he does.
Yep.
Does Lopez get paid? He 100% should.
I heard. I heard that he would have got paid whether he fought Dan or not.
Yeah,
I heard the UFC was going to take care of him.
So yeah, I always thought about that too, because even when I worked at UFC, there was never like a clear line of like, what is show? It's show the scale. Baby. It's show the ceremonial. Like, what is it?
They write the rules, man.
They do. But yeah, I was curious about that. Hopefully Brad gets rebooked.
Yeah.
So that would be, if it is August 10th, like another 4 weeks of camp-ish.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
So
3.
Yeah. So, okay. Another fight this past weekend. Last night. Did you watch Jake Paul and Mike Perry at all? Did you see any of the highlights or anything?
Saw the finish. Saw like a little bit of the knockdown, stuff like that. But I was hanging out with the family. So
yeah. What are your thoughts on? Not to get too. I don't want to get too deep into this whole rabbit hole of influencer boxing, but like, I think Jake has skill.
Oh yeah.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
But like, dude, I'm tired of seeing him fight dudes 30 pounds lighter than him. You know.
Yeah.
And MMA guys at that. Like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it kind of frustrates me because I think he has skill and I think he can actually fight boxers.
Yeah.
But Anderson, 47 years old, you know, like Mike Perry, 170 pounds. The fight was at cruiserweight, if I'm not mistaken, 200 pounds or whatever it is. You know, Nate and all these, like, what are your thoughts on kind of like the way he goes about it.
I think it's smart, and I think what he's doing is getting good reps.
Yeah,
like he's boxing talented fighters.
Yeah,
right? I know they're not talented boxers to the level of boxing of what you're speaking of, but there are very good fighters. There are Hall of Famers. There's guys that have been in there with some of the best in the world. But I think he's doing a good job of being smart, of getting the right amount of reps in, try to hone his craft. At the same time, there's a balance there, right? Like name recognition, name value. He might be beating these guys that are old and stuff like that, but like from our era, we would respect them and go, oh, this dude at any point can put your lights out.
Yeah.
But at some point, I think he's just gaining valuable experience to hopefully go on and perform or go box some of these upper echelon boxers.
Yeah.
You know, just getting the right amount of experience in.
Yeah, he's getting eyeballs. I mean, that's the name of the game. Right. I mean, he's getting eyeballs. People are tuning in and watching, and he's selling out an arena in Tampa and this and that. But
I think, and the one thing that like I would say like upsets me, but it's like people always want to pit like MMA community versus Jake Paul.
Right.
Like we should hate him. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like for one, bro, I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
I want to see people succeed. I want to see people, you know, gain freaking notoriety, make all their
100%.
money, do all the things they're doing. Furthermore, he's been such a big advocate about getting fighters paid more money.
100%.
Taking care of fighters. More things that we've been screaming about forever in getting insurance and a union and taking care of ourselves and whatever. So I don't really understand the reason why. It's weird, like this like sort of like media trying to make you say or do, because that's the one question I used to always get was like, you know, what do you think about Jake Paul and how bad do you hate him? Like, I don't hate him at all.
I don't hate him at all, exactly.
Like, good for him. Like, I want to see people succeed and make money. Furthermore, he's putting money in pockets of guys like Ben Askren, you know, and Anderson Silva and everybody else that he's boxed, right? He's putting money in their pockets. So good on them, man. Continue to shine, continue to grow, you know. And I wouldn't say like I'm his fan,
right?
But like I'm definitely like thankful that he's been helping this MMA wave grow and it's bringing eyeballs to the sport.
100%. That's the main thing. Yeah, that I don't want to sound like I'm hating because I'm not.
At all,
I think what he's done is genius, and like he's getting
people
to tune in. He's picking the right fights. He's definitely getting better. You can see in every fight, no matter who his opponent is, his skill set is getting a lot better. His jab last night, from the videos I saw, his jab looked great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's just like a fight fan.
Right.
You want to see that competitiveness. Like I want to see him hit the canvas and get back up. You know what I mean? I want to see him.
But think about the same thing we would do with a fighter in MMA.
100%.
It's like we're trying to build this dude and get good reps and figure out things as we're on the go. And maybe we're not like, you know, I've seen this with the UFC guys a lot lately, especially like the Russian guys. They win one fight and then they're throwing them in a main event.
Yeah.
Right, like a boost,
yeah.
Right, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Let's scrap. And a couple of these heavyweight guys, and they're getting exposed.
Yeah.
So I think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Getting this guy good reps and the name value of a lot of these guys are, you know, obviously they're top level fighters at some point in their career, and you know, let's see what they do, and you know, let's see what he does within another year. Hopefully, he's boxing some you know, better guys.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Like I said, I just that like fight fan in me is like, like, you know, like I want to see him get hit in the body and be like, ah, fuck, and then have to like come back. But he's doing it the right way. Did you see his? He faced Alex Pereira, FaceTimed him in the ring.
No way.
He called out Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
And then Alex Pereira FaceTimed him, and they were like, so it had to have been like, you know, pre set up. But that would be fun. I would watch I would pay to watch that fight in a boxing. I don't know if Jake Paul has seen what Alex Pereira did in Glory, but he did it with 16-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
So, like,
that's not gonna.
I would be very open to
moving up
watching
the ladder pretty quick.
Yeah. Although I think Jake would actually do okay in straight boxing against Pereira.
Sure.
But he got touched a little bit in all of his fights.
Right.
And if Pereira touches you, it's the kiss of death.
It's face first.
So, but I saw that and I thought that was really cool.
But I mean, but again, it's like that's just a big old tease.
Yeah,
like
because he's under
He's under contract. Dana's not going to let him box.
Yeah,
you know,
unless Turkey gets involved, maybe.
Unless Turkey gets involved, our man,
our guy Turkey.
Our guy.
Last thing on this, do you even want to see the Mike Tyson fight with him?
No.
Yeah, me either.
I think we've. A lot of people talked about this. It just to me is just a lose for Jake.
I agree.
Right? It's like you knock out Uncle Mike, right? And then you're hated, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
And
it does nothing for him.
Does nothing
outside
for him,
of
man.
I beat Mike Tyson,
the legend,
but he was 60 years old or 62
yeah.
or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I get it from Mike's perspective.
Right. Oh, 100%.
Like 100% get it from his perspective, but it's just not. I saw I see all the retorts to this about why it does make sense. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Like Jake wins, which he's, I would favor him pretty heavily in that fight.
Yeah, I mean, if he makes it out of rounds 1 or 2,
yeah,
Mike's gonna gas.
Yeah,
and it's just
it's just and it's I don't want to you don't ever want to see your heroes die like that.
No.
You know what I mean? And or not even heroes, but like icons of the sport.
100%.
Go out face planted.
Yeah.
Like Nate Robinson and you're Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to see that.
No.
So
on that real quick, I'd like to get your opinion, Eric, on what do you think about because obviously Jake is going into playing the heel, right? And there's no bigger heel than a huge lose versus Tyson.
Right.
So to play the other side of the coin, that kind of gives him kudo points as far as into what he wants to do.
True.
Yeah.
So I mean, would you give him any points or any respect in the marketing of it, or just because it's Uncle Mike, you just kind of scrapping it?
I mean, if that's the role he's gonna play, then I understand the way it's trying to be laid out, And I think this dude's a genius marketer and what he's putting together. But at the end of the day, it's like you said, you just don't want to see Mike in that position.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't know, man. It just does nothing for your career. Really.
Also, his whole thing is bringing eyeballs, lifting up the sport of boxing, lifting up fighters, paying fighters, this, that, and the third. It kind of goes against, in a way, everything that, because he's tarnishing an icon of the sport's legacy.
Honestly, I would rather see him train with Mike.
100%.
Or bring Mike on board. Because
have Mike be the co-main against another older
100%
fighter or something.
But join forces with Mike. Right. If anything, I think that's a better value for you in your career because you gain this instant notoriety or respect. We did when we had Mike too. When Mike only really coached two sessions with us. And then Mike was coaching Francis, But I mean, that's the level of power that he has. When Mike Tyson's around, there's just this aura.
Yeah.
It's different, bro. That one workout we had with Mike at Bones, that one day, bro, shit he was making Francis do, nobody on the planet could make Francis work that hard. There was nobody in the world, bro. And Mike's like, yeah, you got another 100 sit-ups.
Yeah.
And Francis was like, all right.
Yeah.
1, 2.
Yeah.
If I would have said that shit, he would have fucking, bro, I'm out.
But to that point,
yeah.
To that point on those sit-ups, I was there and I was filming it. I remember Mike, because he was doing the medicine ball sit-ups.
Yeah.
But he was doing it the hard way.
Yes. Oh, bro.
He wasn't even using the medicine ball as momentum. I have it on video where he's and then Mike is like, yo, he's doing this the hard way.
Yeah.
And then just to show how beast of a guy Francis is. Yeah. But I remember that was wild when he was doing that.
Bro, this. I wish people could just feel that room.
It was, man. It was
sauna.
Intense.
It was intense, right? Mike yelled at me the moment I walked in. Remember, Mike was on my ass. I was like, "Hey, Mr. Tyson, here's what Dewey wrote out." I was like, "Man, fuck that workout."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever you want, man."
Can you tell that story real quick? Because I don't think anyone knows that story, and it is actually hilarious.
Oh yeah,
because. Go, just tell it, please.
Okay.
It was so good.
So I get a call from Markel. I'm pulling up to Bones Adams. I get a call from Markel, and Markel's like, "Yo, man, I don't know what's going on, but Tyson's pissed about something. I don't know. Just be on your toes." I was like, okay, great. It's I'm terrified. I walk into this fucking training session. So Dewey's out of town. Dewey kind of wrote out the workout set or just the format of the workouts. So I sit down, Mike's there, and I can feel Mike was angry about something. I don't know what. I was like, "Hey, Mike, what's up, man?" And he just, I go, Dewey, wrote out the workout. You let me know how. Show's yours, Mike. Whatever you want. But here was the workout of the Dewey. He looks at it and he's like, "Nah, we ain't doing that shit." I was like, "Okay, your show, bro. Whatever you want to do." And he's like, "Yeah, this we ain't doing no fucking bag." Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. I was like I said, Mike, I'm just here to help. I'm here to assist. So I don't remember how there was a little back and forth, right? So I'm like, all right, Mike, it's your show, dude. And fucking. So now Francis is shadow boxing. He's already started his rounds, right? And then so Mike Tyson, like, you know, he kind of is watching Francis do a shadow, and then Francis like looks over because like 5 minutes go by.
Yeah.
Francis is like, yo, is the time up? I was like, I don't know. I didn't start a clock. Mike said it's his show, so I ain't fucking doing shit unless I'm told.
He was shadowboxing for like 12 minutes.
Yeah. He's like, yo, E, how long has we been going? I was like, I don't know, man. Mike said it's his show. I ain't starting no timer. You know?
Man.
So yeah. Anyways, so like, you know, Mike put him through this crazy ass workout. Yo, it was intense, man. It was fun. I actually learned a lot. And then I think like when I started holding pads for Francis, like Mike kind of was like, all right, he was cool. Like he
you could see his like not that he didn't respect you, but then when you started holding pads, you could see he was like, okay, this guy's like, he knows what he's doing.
I've been holding pads for Francis for 5 years. You know, like he's like, who's this punk ass white boy? I don't know, you know, whatever. And then I think he called me Kevin or something. He was like, come on, Kevin. I was like, God damn it.
Close, Mike. Close.
No, it was funny, bro. And then like, so we did all this. We did this whole entire workout. The best part about it was, you know, we're all done. And then I looked at my notes. I'm like, damn, Mike, that was crazy. Let's see here. We did 4 rounds on the heavy bag. We did 6 rounds of pads, 4 rounds of cardio. Kind of like what I had written down. And Mike's just like, you motherfucker. Yeah. Dude,
oh, man,
crazy.
that was so funny, man. I'll never forget that. As soon as I walked in, Eric looked at me. He's like, Mike's fucking pissed about something. I was like, what? Bro. He's like, I don't know, but he just blew up on me with my notebook. So I'm going to stand over here in the corner.
Throw the fucking notebook aside and like, yo, bro, it's your show, man. Whatever you want to do.
So funny, man. I'm glad you told that story because that was hilarious.
The best part was like when I showed Mike the notes, like I had to do it. I was like, oh, so Mike. And he's like, kind of giggle. He was like, all right, motherfucker.
Yeah. Like, maybe I do know. Maybe we do know what we're talking about.
What we're doing.
Man. All right, that's a good transition. Guys that you've trained in the past and still train. Let's transition to next weekend's card, UFC Manchester. You mentioned a little bit, you're leaving on a flight tomorrow morning. This is Sunday when we're recording this, so you leave tomorrow, Monday. And you only have Manel, correct?
Only Manel.
Yeah, so Manel Kape on the card. I think we should preview the whole main card.
Sure.
But let's start with Manel and his opponent, Mohammed mokaev, number 5 in the world. A lot of hype behind him. Yeah. Really good guy, a really good fighter.
Right.
Kind of talk to us a little bit about how camp's been going and maybe some of the game plan without, revealing too much, obviously.
I mean, Manel's had some bad luck on his side.
Yeah.
Right? Like, opponents falling out or, showing up to freaking, I remember, was it Singapore? Guy, literally traveled there, opponent falls out. He had Alex Perez fall out the day of the fight, some bad luck. And then there's been some bad luck on our end, things that we didn't do correctly. And, Manel has really worked his ass off this entire camp. His weight's down. He looks good. He's been very consistent. Sparring, amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Amazing. And this is a classic if you look at it on paper, striker versus grappler. Manel can grapple.
Yeah.
Manel can grapple. And mokaev can strike. He's got some good striking skills as well. So this is a title eliminator, bro. The reality of it is when you look at the flyweight landscape, these guys have kind of overlapped and already fought and like whatever. So in my opinion, the winner of this fight is going to be next up for the title against Pantoja. Manel fought Pantoja, I believe, to split decision. Yeah. Pantoja beat him, split decision. Very close fight. And we all remember when Manel came in from Risen, the hype, right? And dude, I mean, I hate to be like this, he's one of the best, whatever. When you watch this dude spar and you watch this guy train, the hype is real.
He's really good, man.
This motherfucker is good, bro.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy the relationship that I have with Manel from a stylistic standpoint. As far as our like ideologies go, it is a lot like playing a video game. I have a lot of fun holding pads for him. I have a lot of fun with the information that we exchange back and forth. This will be my 4th, I think 5th fight cornering him. So just how it is, man, is you just growing together. But it's a lot of fun because I get to learn a lot. He appreciates my input on things, and I'm just really looking forward to this fight. It's a great matchup, man. It's a tough fight.
Yeah.
It's a tough fight.
Yeah. I was going to ask, what are some things that make Mokaev a tough fight? Like, obviously, he's a heavy grappler.
Right.
But just what are some things that, you see in him that makes him a tough opponent for anyone, really?
His blend between his striking and his level changing, he does a good job, but he's sticky. He gets on legs and he ties you up. So we use Kobe Fair a lot in this camp. Kobe, I think, is one of the, dude, I don't care who you put Kobe in there with. Kobe's going to out-grapple you. Kobe can grapple. So the best guy that we can give Manel, this was the best training partner for Manel this camp. Because stylistically, the way that they grapple, Kobe's very similar to Mokaev. And I think Kobe's a little bit heavier on his ground and pound and his submissions as well, where Mokaev's a little bit more of a holder, right? He just tries to smother. So it'll be interesting, man. Like what we have game plan wise, and the way Manel was able to keep Kobe off of him. So there was a lot of things that we set up, and Manel did a very good job this whole camp. So nice. I think that's what makes Mokaev so good. He's just, when he gets on you, he's on you. It's almost kind of like Patchy. When Patchy would get on somebody, if Patchy's on you in the first minute, the round's over, bro. Yeah. Or the fight's over because they submit you. Right. But you're not getting out of any positions that Patchy gets you in. Yeah. Very rarely.
Yeah. How's Manel feeling? Like everything good?
Everything's good. Healthy, and that's my thing with Manel is a lot of times his body type. Like the last time, a lot of people don't understand was with the weight miss. He got really sick. He was really sick about 3 weeks out. It was a viral infection, so he wasn't able to train. And when you're a big flyweight, there's that taper, right? And you have to be on that taper of that weight cut. And then when you get to the week of the fight, if you're not at a certain weight, bro, it's going to be very hard for you to make that weight. Yeah. And that was on all of us. Like we trust our fighter. We trust the opinion of, hey, I can make it or not. You have to know your body, but we all are at fault. It's like, dude, we could have pulled out and just, at an earlier time, because he was sick. He was very sick. Antibiotics and everything else. Is it an excuse? No, it's just helping the fans understand what was going on with him. And we are the ones that are at fault because we're the ones that made the decision to go through with it, right? And we didn't make the weight, and then it cost us. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. Manel is not short on confidence at all. And Mokaev is a very confident guy. And they moved him off the main card. He's the
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's not on the main card now. I saw that he's going to be like the last fight on the prelims, which is not a bad spot. You're going to get a lot of eyeballs on that ESPN Plus card. So
he's on ESPN too, it looks like.
Oh, is it?
I'm looking at the UFC website, and they have him on the main card still. That's why I thought he was on the main card.
They put up a graphic last night, and they didn't have it on have him on the main card. So I started to get a bunch of text messages like, is Manel off the card? And I was like, shit, I hope not. I got to pack up, you know. But from what I saw, that he was going to be the main on the prelims, right? The last fight,
which is a really good spot.
It's a very good spot, but it also eliminates us from having to do a press conference. So you never know. Manel is going to say some shit, maybe throw a bottle of water at somebody. Who knows? So this is a lot safer for us.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right, let's look at the rest of the main card. I got to be honest, I haven't looked at this. I knew Leon and Aspinal were fighting, but outside of that, and Manel, obviously because of our relationship, but I'm looking at it now. This is fun. Yeah. First fight on the main card, Arnold Allen and Giga Chikadze.
Great fight.
That's a really fun fight.
Right, great fight.
What do you kind of we'll preview them real quick first, then we'll do picks at the end. Or afterward. But what do you see kind of in that fight? Like, how do you see that kind of going?
Well, or
stylistically, I guess, how do you see it?
I think the clear path to victory for Arnold Allen is he needs to wrestle.
Grapple.
You got to incorporate some grappling. And if I think he does that, I think it's a good night for him. Yeah. Right? But Giga's gotten so much better with understanding what guys are going to try to do against him. Use your length, use your kicks, stay long, poke this dude, and use your movement. Don't stay stagnant in the middle of the floor there where you're available to be taken down. Right?
He hasn't fought in a minute, huh?
Giga.
Yeah. Was his last fight Cater?
Could have been.
Because that was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know when it was,
man. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a fun fight. That's gonna be cool. The other one is
Bobby Green.
Yeah. Well, there was the one that was moved to the main card.
Gregor.
I don't even know who these guys are. Gregory Rodriguez and Christian Leroy Duncan. I have no clue who those
85ers, bangers.
Yeah. Oh, I do know he's
RoboCop.
the RoboCop.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, he's the guy with had the big gash.
Yeah, he just recently beat Brad. It was a great fight. It was 1-1 going in round 3, and then he ended up finishing Brad.
Ah,
in
okay.
round 3. Yeah, great fight.
Are you familiar with these guys? Like stylistically, how do you kind of what do you
does
think?
not go the distance.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so.
Yeah.
That guy Gregory, like he just he just comes forward.
Bro,
He's a freaking
in the apex when he was fighting Brad.
Yeah.
There was some that went like off of Brad's forearms.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, bro, this guy's throwing leather.
That's a small cage too.
Small. I mean, yeah.
Terminator. All right, the top 3 fights are the good fights. Bobby Green, King Green, excuse me. His first name is King now, and Paddy Pimblet. That's going to be a fun lead up.
I love this fight.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. How do you I would assume Paddy has to grapple and wrestle in this fight. I don't think he can stand and strike with Bobby.
Right.
But what are your thoughts?
I don't know if you're going to get Bobby down.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know, man. Like, I think Paddy does have the edge in the grappling department. I would say that. But, dude, Bobby's no slouch when it comes to his wrestling. I mean, King.
Excuse us, King.
You know, it was one thing when he fought Islam, but historically, he's not an easy guy to get to the ground.
Yeah.
And I think his style with his hands down is automatically underhooks.
Yeah.
You know, and he's comfortable there.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know, man. It could be.
I think I know who you're gonna pick. I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
I just think Bobby's gonna be a little too quick. That's a great point with his hands down.
Yeah.
Because he does fight like that, and it's gonna be interesting.
Here's the thing about when you watch Bobby Green fight, like that dude has a dog in him.
Yeah.
Like he is truly willing to die.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if we've seen that from Paddy yet in one of these style fights where this dude just might take an ass whooping from Bobby Green, bro.
Yeah.
Real talk.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The lead up will be fun. That press conference, if they do one, is going to be hysterical.
Yeah. 100%.
But that fight's interesting. Next fight, the first title fight, your boy, Tom Aspinall, rematch with Curtis Blades, the heavyweight interim title bout, whatever. But give us your quick thoughts stylistically on that fight. We've seen 30 seconds of it before. Obviously, Tom had the knee injury. But what do you kind of see in that fight?
I mean, obviously, I'm a little partial because I've been helping Tom, or I only held pads for him the one time, but we've been friends for a little while. We've talked a lot this camp, and so I'm obviously siding with Aspinall here, but from a skill perspective, he's as advertised.
Yeah.
He's the real deal. He's a guy that, obviously when Francis was in the division, it's my job to kind of look at the landscape of the heavyweight division, and he's the one that I circled a long time ago going, this guy's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
He's going to climb up through the ranks. Skill-wise, I think he's great everywhere. And, I think that this is one of these fights where I think Tom can really put his name on the map in beating a very, very good Curtis Blades. I think Tom can actually beat him anywhere.
Really?
I do, bro. I do. I think he can beat him anywhere, man. And I'm a big fan of Blades. I think Blades is a talented heavyweight. I just think Tom Aspinall has the it factor in every aspect of the sport, bro. He's that good.
Yeah.
He's that good. So
it'll be interesting. By the way, did you see his comment? Someone asked him about Pereira moving up to heavyweight and how he would do that. Did you see that? He's like, in 10 seconds, I'd rugby tackle him and just take him to the ground.
To touch on that, when I met with him, we hit pads. We did an hour, and he's very smart. He's very cerebral. He's not this he's not fighting with his ego.
Right.
He's fighting with his brain.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that we talked about, he's like, why would I flip a coin if I have an edge on something? When it comes to heavyweight division, you never want to flip a coin because anybody at this division could put your lights out in a moment's notice.
Yeah.
So if you have an edge somewhere and you can beat somebody in a particular style, and you can lean on that style, why flip a coin? And he's smart, man. So
But I thought that was hilarious because that is the right answer.
That is the right answer.
It's just beeline right to him.
Jordan Burroughs.
And just double leg him.
Yeah, 100%.
And then main event. I think this fight is a lot more interesting than people are giving it credit for.
1,000,000%,
I know
bro.
Belal's your boy. I'm a huge fan of Leon. I think he's incredible. But I think this is going to be a much closer, better fight than people are thinking.
Couldn't agree more.
Before we give picks, just your thoughts stylistically on this fight.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And again, like Belal, when I talked to him, again, very smart, very cerebral, very well coached, and he's very good everywhere. He doesn't get much credit for that, right? I think when you go watch him fight Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, we did a lot when he came to the gym. We did some stuff about like the cage containments, the different stances, and how to close the doors. And just him, hey, here's some thoughts on this. Take it back home and make it your own. Right? And he just went and killed it.
Then I remember coming to the gym after that, and you were like, "Bro, Belal's going to surprise some people this weekend."
Telling you, bro.
You were very bullish on that fight. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
But I mean, like, I just when you can kind of just sit and listen to what some of their thoughts are on the approach, and maybe give them a thing or two, and be able to make it their own. And then go watch and go, ooh, that was nice. Like, that was fun to watch. Like, you're taking stuff from it, you know? Then he fought Luque, and I thought did a great job and won that fight. But he was doing a lot of movement. Remember, like, he was switch dancing a lot. Catching him coming in. And then he fought Sean Brady, was able to get Sean Brady out, who I'm high on prospect-wise.
That, to me, was the fight where I was like, okay, Belal's, like, we gotta or me, I got to take him a lot more serious. Again, I listened to you with the Wonder Boy fight and the Luque fight, but the Brady fight to me, because I'm like you, I thought Brady was, I mean, he still is the real deal. But that fight in Abu Dhabi, I think it was, I was like, that was impressive.
And to touch on Brady, I think that's a fight that Brady needed. Right? Like, this dude's going to be even better because of that. Right? And I'm super high on Brady. I think he's the most slept on in the division for a lot of these guys, you know? And that's like from watching him, but also like listening to what Felder has to say about him too. You know, a guy that I trust his opinion on. But back to Belal, man, I'm with you. I think this fight is very close. Than a lot of people are thinking it's going to be. Right? I don't think Belal gets the love and the respect that he deserves. I don't understand a lot of the hate that he gets either. I just don't get it, bro.
There's some people, Belal, Aljamain, like for whatever reason. I have an opinion on the reason because I know the MMA fan base, but they just get so much hate. Maybe they're not the sexiest style. Maybe they're not the flashiest, you know, whatever, but they're good, man. They are good. And like,
they're good people.
And they're great people.
They're great people,
I mean,
bro. Like,
I met Aljamain. I know Aljamain a little bit. I've met Belal a couple times, but they're really good people. And it's just like, it's crazy how much hate they get.
Belal gives me shit all the time. He's always like, if I fight Sean Strickland, would you corner against me? And I'm like, yes, bro. Of course I'm going to corner against you if you fight Sean. So I want to fight Sean.
Like, I know he wants that. I know.
Like, don't fight Sean, Belal.
Oh, man. All right, let's do picks real quick. We'll do Manel and Muhammad instead of whoever those other two guys are, because you already said doesn't go the distance. You don't pick that fight, obviously. That's your guy. But producer Vic, get in here on some of the picks as well. So first fight we'll do Manel and Muhammad Mokaev. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really close. I do think Mokaev's grappling is very, very good. But similar to Bobby and Paddy, I think Manel will be a little too quick and a little too sharp. And I'm actually going to pick, I think Manel's the underdog, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's even money.
Is it even money?
I think.
I'm picking Manel in this fight. I don't know round or distance.
Listen, I don't give a fuck.
I don't know round or distance, but
tell whoever you want after, but fucking Manel, both of you. I'm picking for both of you.
I bet with my heart, and I pick with my heart, so I pick Manel.
There you go.
I ain't got no technical analysis. That's it.
Yeah, that good mana. The Rock when he's vice president. Okay, Arnold Allen, Giga Chikadze, kicking off the main card. We'll start with you.
Man,
you don't have to give a pick if you don't want to.
I don't want to give picks, man, just because like I'm friends with a lot of these guys too. You know what I mean? But like, I think for me, stylistically, I got to lean towards Arnold, but I'm cheering for Giga.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of. I think Arnold should win if he grapples and puts him up against the cage, takes him down. But Giga is a sniper. He's really good.
That's what I like.
Yeah, he is a sniper.
He'll catch you coming in on something and he'll put your lights out.
I'm gonna go with the hometown guy. I'm gonna pick Arnold Allen.
Oh, he's Manchester, right?
I don't know if he's Manchester, but just England in general. Like, I don't know if he's Manchester though.
You have to kind of go with Arnold. I mean, he is a favorite by a lot, but also
What's the line on that?
On the UFC website is -265 Arnold
wow.
and +215 for Giga.
Giga's that big of an underdog.
Yeah, but like you said, he's a sniper, man.
Yeah,
like
that's too
he's a
big of an
sniper.
underdog, though.
So
that's too big in my opinion.
yeah, but and this isn't like I'll pull up DraftKings and take a look at some legitimate lines, but you kind of have to go with Arnold. I think just fighting in Manchester in England, like that energy you get, it has to play something.
Yeah, I think he's he's got Faraz in his corner.
Yeah.
Faraz is mastermind when it comes to game plans.
All right, the co-feature, as John Anik calls it, I believe, the third fight from the top, King Green and Paddy Pimblet. Bobby -130, Paddy +115.
Oh, okay.
Paddy's the underdog. I think
Really?
I think I read somewhere this is the first fight he's been an underdog.
Nice.
So again, maybe just quick thoughts if you don't want to give picks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take Bobby Green in this, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just give me King Green,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
If you don't like Bobby Green,
I
then
know, bro.
I mean, like this dude is he just oozes confidence.
He does, man.
He's a fighter's fight. He's the Nate Diaz of the UFC right now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see how Paddy does against a guy who's just gonna talk shit in your ear the whole fucking week, right? And then the fight, and then when you hit him, you're like, that didn't hurt, and just fuck you, and just there. He's gonna be there the whole time and just fighting your ass, and I think that's the type of test Paddy Pimblet needs in his career right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I like Bobby. I like King Green quite a bit. I kind of think it's like a one-sided ass whooping. If I'm gonna be,
Nice.
kind of like. And this is not against Paddy. Like, he's entertaining.
Yeah,
I think he's really good at grappling. His striking is just not really there. Like, in terms of like the crisp.
it's gonna be
technique.
the check hook.
Yeah,
It's going to be the check hook, man. Unless this guy has fixed some holes in his defense, it's going to be the check hook that's going to put him out.
And to your point which is a great point you made, Bobby fights with his hands down. The entries for Paddy are going to be very difficult, I would think. And I just think Bobby's going to be too quick.
It's going to be like the third or fourth takedown attempt that's stuffed.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
And then this dude's going to let you know every time.
I don't know if it's as bad as like the Jim Miller fight that Bobby just had, but I think it's going to be pretty one-sided. No offense to Paddy. I know he watches everything. He probably see this and hate both of us for it, but
I like him.
Yeah.
I
just think it's going to be I think it's a really tough fight for Paddy.
And look, like people, I want to touch on this real quick. When I hear people pick against my guys or whatever, me or whatever it may be, I don't take offense to that at all.
Yeah.
I want to hear what you got to say. Oh, okay. Let me see if I'm missing out on something. Or maybe there's some. It's not a shot to my ego.
Right.
It's a shot to my fight IQ, or like, maybe I didn't touch on this subject enough, or this path to victory enough, or whatever. I want to hear that. I want to know that. But if we do win, I'm gonna talk a little shit.
Yeah, 100%, bro, as you should. Producer Vic, what you got?
Yeah, you got to go with King. Bobby, he has the experience. He does fight with his hands down. But for me, it's more on like the Paddy side. Like Paddy, he's known for like gaining a bunch of weight in between fights. And I mean, I just looked it up. He's 29, so he's still young. But like the older you get, the less your body can make that adjustment.
Yeah.
As drastically where, he was 50, 60 pounds plus on the offseason. Like you can see it in his face. And then the other aspect of that is like Paddy came in with like that, like after Bisping, the UK needed like a fighter.
Right.
And they tried with Darren Till. They're trying with Paddy. Obviously, they have Tom Aspinall now, but like Paddy had the hype coming in, but then it's kind of withered off since he hasn't fought, since all this other stuff. So to me, it's like it's hard to like put your money on Paddy against a guy like King Green.
You know what's hard too in this type of matchup is you're not going to have anybody to be able to spar with that spars like Bobby Green.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that doesn't make or break an entire camp. That doesn't like a lot of people get fixated on like I don't have the right training partners for this style. Back in the old day, the guys just sparred. Yeah. You want to predicate your camp like 80% of what you do, 20% of what the opponent does, because things change. Your opponents change all the time throughout camp. But like stylistically, to find somebody to give you a look like King Green, bro, it's also very tough.
On a side note, real quick, I'm looking on DraftKings, and they got Paddy -105, Bobby -115, so it's a pick 'em.
Oh,
So the lines moved a little bit.
Yeah, it's a pick 'em.
okay.
And on Arnold Allen, it was -250 Arnold plus 205 Giga.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Damn, he's that big of an underdog, huh? That's crazy. Okay, co-main. I think we know where you stand. Aspinal Blades. What are you thinking?
I got Tom, bro.
You think it's doesn't go the distance?
No, I don't think it goes the distance.
You don't think
not
it goes
a 5-rounder?
Yeah. I'm conflicted on this because I'm like with you on Tom. I think he's very, very good, but Blades, and I've told people this before, like when Blades is not in his own head, he's so good. Like he's so good.
Yeah.
His only losses until recently were to Francis.
Yep.
And that Derek Lewis fight,
He was winning.
but he was winning standing.
Yeah.
And like for whatever reason, like paused before he was going to shoot in.
Yeah.
And then got caught with that uppercut. And then the what's the other guy he lost to? The Russian dude.
Sergey Pavlin.
Yeah, the one Tom just beat. He didn't even like attempt a takedown.
Right.
He tried to stand with him and got
Bad.
blitzed in the first 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So like I just think he's really, really good. I think Tom is also really good. I think the winner of this fight is going to win, like is going to run the division for a little bit. Like I think both these guys beat John, if I'm being completely honest. Like if Blades is all there. I'm gonna take Blades. I'm gonna take a flyer on Blades. I think if he's there, he can
What's
win
the
this
line
fight. Tom is huge favorite,
Really?
-380.
Wow. Okay.
Which is crazy to me.
Crazy, yeah.
And he should be favored. I think he should be favored.
Yeah, that's
Maybe-
a wide line.
Yeah.
I will say, man, like I think Blades is very well coached.
Yeah.
I think Cody Donovan and the guys over there have done a great job with him.
Yeah.
I think they put together great game plans. I always wonder because I don't know. Does Blades tend to follow those particular game plans that are given, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But I think movement and speed is going to be Tom's key, and I just don't think he's going to be there to be hit. I think he's going to hit and be gone, and it's going to be very tough to take him down. And I think if you do take Tom down, he's very active, and counter wrestles as well too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Tom put him on his back.
Yeah.
So how do you, a lot of these really, really high level wrestlers that are able to take guys down are not very good off their back.
Yeah.
So I think Tom has more routes to win this fight.
Yeah.
To victory. I think if Blades is wrestling heavy and can't get this fight to the ground, it's gonna be a long, quick night for him.
Yeah. Yeah. What you got?
Yeah, I think obviously I'm gonna go with Tom Aspinall. I'm looking back and I saw that they fought back in 2022. Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember, but it was a quick fight. TKO due to knee injury in the first round.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, like, obviously they camped for that entire fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now after you camp, then you see more fights, and now you camp again. Like, does that, you think as a coach, like, does that play into something? Like, maybe now that, like, do you go back to the old camp? Do you like mix it with some of the new fights?
If the information rings true on things that you saw like in the past, in the last few fights that they've had, right? You're like, okay, the things that we game plan against are still there, or the things that he's doing, repetition wise, then you still stay on that stuff. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a really interesting fight. And then lastly, main event, we talked about it a little bit. Any other last kind of comments on Belal versus Leon?
I mean, I do think the fight's a lot closer than what people are saying. I've been blown away by Leon over the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, longer than that. This guy is unbelievable, bro.
Yeah.
And what he was able to accomplish against a guy like Usman twice now, especially the first fight, right? Finding that same side head kick, set up beautifully. It was not fluke. And people don't understand, like, that's kind of one of my go-tos especially out of open stance. If you need a Hail Mary, is to be able to set up a same side high, reading what the defense is off of a guy. Okay, if he's slipping the wrong way, or if he's parrying the hand, head, whatever. Yeah. That took so much timing and talent, and be able to do that, and then put out a guy who was pound for pound #1 at the time. Yeah. And win the world title, and then go ahead and defend it. The Colby Covington fight, I don't think you can take a lot out of that fight, because it was like, when you win the title, a lot of us understand it's like now it's like retaining your pay-per-view buys. Yeah. You know, it's like it's winning, yes, of course. But I remember Izzy used to get so much shit for the lackluster style of fight. You want to hold on to that.
Yeah.
You want to hold on to that opportunity to be able to make life-changing generational wealth for your family. And that comes with pay-per-view buys, right? So I don't take a lot into the Kobe Covington fight. He had to do what he had to do to win the fight, and he won it handily.
Yeah.
Credit to him.
Yeah.
Because Kobe could be a fucking tough fight. Kobe looked like he was off.
Yeah, he did.
You know, it didn't look like the right whatever, but Leon did what he had to do to win the fight.
Yeah.
I think that this fight's going to be much tougher. I think Belal's going to offer a little bit more in this fight, and I'm going to go with Belal just because he is my boy. I'm biased in this situation, but I feel like Belal's got the necessary tools to win this fight, and I'm gonna go with my boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be close, man. I could see it being like, you know, both guys in dangerous situations. Maybe Belal has his back at one point. Maybe Leon rocks him at one point. I'm going to go Leon, but I'm going to go like a 48-47 type split decision.
2-2 going into 5,
one of those type deals. So obviously there'll be a 50-45 somewhere.
Yeah.
But
do you think exactly. Do you think that how do you feel about the fight, like a hometown guy fighting?
Yeah, I think that's a thing in fight sports, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But to me, I think Belal is gonna. I'm telling you, I think he's gonna put on one of them performances that's almost like you can't mess it up.
Right.
Like he clearly wins, and maybe they'll find a way to fuck it up. But you know what I mean? I think
like
it's gonna be one of those.
Izzy, like you have to like
100%.
Yeah.
100. That's a great example.
Yeah.
I don't think Belal will wash him out like that.
Right.
But like, yes, I think it's going to be.
Yeah, because you remember the crowd's going to play an effect.
100%. 100%. But they also the UK fans also understand when there's like when there are moments. So I think if Belal has his back and there are moments like that, or if he gets him into a a situation, the crowd will be like, I think that will happen.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, any punch Leon throws, whether it lands or not, the crowd's gonna be like, yeah.
Behind him,
So yeah, I think it's gonna be tough for Belal to win. That's a factor for sure. The crowd, let alone just Leon being who he is. But I do see it as a razor close. I really think Belal is gonna surprise a lot of people, and hopefully comes out with a lot more respect after this fight too.
Yeah.
But I do see it kind of like one of those 48-47
close fight.
Yeah, maybe it's a unanimous decision, but it's 48-47 across the board, or maybe it's a split 48-47. But I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be close.
Yep,
I think it's gonna be close. Vic.
It's like looking at the odds. Belal's not a bad bet.
What's
he's
the line?
plus 170, minus 205.
Okay. Shit.
I mean, if just looking at like
underdog.
just looking at the last few people that Belal's fight: Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady, Vicente Lucas, Stephen Thomas, Damian Maia, Diego Lima. He's due for one. But it was the same thing with Leon. Leon went so many years undefeated. He was due for one. He got one of the craziest knockouts of all time. But I don't know, man. Belal's he's a dog, man, I'm kind of rooting for him. So I'm gonna pick him because I pick with my heart, but. Man, Leon is kind of on top of the world right now.
Sure.
So especially after those 2 wins, granted the Kobe Covington one, he had to do what he had to do because he's dangerous anywhere. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely go with my boy Muhammad, man.
Jeff Neal landed, I believe, a same side high on Belal. Right? I believe.
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember if it was.
I think that was the last time Belal lost. Was it versus Jeff Neal?
Yeah.
That was in 2019. It was a unanimous decision loss.
Oh, okay.
UD. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're right. I think he did land some big shots.
Yeah. But I look at stylistically, Jeff Neal and Leon kind of have a little bit similar style.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
But it's also another thing where they fought before, and obviously it was an accidental eye poke, made it a no contest in the second round. So now, it's one of those things where the person who won, granted you don't know who really won in that first fight, the person who lost comes in with a bigger advantage over the person who won during the second fight, right?
Right.
From what I hear, so.
But a lot of people don't remember this though. But like his, I know Lou had COVID. Lewis Taylor.
Who?
Belal's coach.
Oh.
So there was like a lot of chaos that fight week for Belal because I remember him calling me up like, "Yo, I think I had Ige on that card. I had somebody on that card.
Yeah.
And him like, yo, you know, would you be available to corner?
Yeah.
I'm like, my COVID tests are all clear, you know, because Lou ended up not being able to, because he popped for COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, that whole week was a little bit of pandemonium for him, like trying to find a coach and people to be there for him, you know. So he was taking that main event fight without his main guy.
Yeah.
You know,
he looks in incredible shape. I see the thirst traps on Instagram in his little tank top and stuff. Oh, wow. But he looks in incredible shape. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I'm really, really excited for that fight. I want to kind of take a left turn, stay on that side of the world, but take a left turn and talk about the Olympics coming up. They start this week.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's a global event. I feel like it's topical. Anything you like look forward to? Do you watch the Olympics a lot? Like, do you enjoy them?
I watched the basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, how the fuck?
I don't know, dude.
How the fuck do we only beat South Sudan by 1 point?
Sleepwalking.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
And we beat them by 1 point with LeBron. We got LeBron James, bro.
I know.
We got LeBron James.
Even watching him just go with the go-ahead layup, it's just like, oh, let me just go ahead and do this. And
that's my point. It looked like I was guarding him out there.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, I'm just going to do this real quick.
Yeah,
like, where was that for the last 40 minutes? Like, we have LeBron James.
Yeah.
Why are we beating South Sudan by 1 point?
Yeah.
Bro, that pissed me off.
I used to love watching it. I remember being a kid, like that was the thing, like just sitting there, just watching on Channel 3, you know, like, you know,
NBC,
and just hanging out and watching it. But for me, it's like it's hard to get into when it's once every 4 years.
I know,
You're like, come on, man. But no, I mean, I'll turn on, I'll watch it. I love watching track. You know, I love watching track.
Do you have like name like your top 5 or 3 to 5 like events if you're tuning in?
I do like the weightlifting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like powerlifting.
Yeah, I like watching the powerlifting. I love watching track. But here's the thing that like as a kid that we really, I felt like more of corporate America got behind their Olympic athletes. There was a lot of commercials. There was a lot of good things like just to kind of hype it up. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen any of that. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen any of that. Dude, we were behind the gymnastics team, like the girls and this and that, like everything. Yeah. To me was like there was more.
Yeah.
There was, you know, McDonald's had their, Nike had their, you know, and right now that I don't feel like corporate America is really pushing. Are they?
Yeah,
Am I wrong? Like I haven't seen a thing.
Yeah, I don't see many things at all. I saw some doc on Simone Biles on Netflix, but I haven't even seen promotion for that. That was on Twitter that I saw it.
Right.
So like, there's no like, to your point, you know, I remember the commercials for Michael Johnson's gold cleats, which made me want to watch track and field even more. And even the Usain Bolt stuff in the 2000s.
Right.
But you're right. To your point, like there is no.
These guys were superheroes.
100%.
That's my whole point. Is like, what happened to the superhero status that we gave these Olympic athletes? To me, I like maybe we're just so much into like, you know, it needs to be now, and people forget about how accomplished these athletes are, how hard it is. Like I have a very good friend of mine who is a 2-time gold medalist in swimming, right? Like in Sydney, and like we go to his house and he's got gold medals, and I'm like to my kids, I'm like, dude, do you know how hard it is to get one of those? They're walking around the house wearing Brad's like gold medals. I'm like, dude, that's so dope. Yeah, that's so dope. But like, that's my whole point is these men and women were held as superheroes during my youth, my generation. We just don't see that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very true.
And what sucks about that on the side note is that like a lot of these athletes, like how much money is in professional swimming? So like if you get corporate America, like at least they can make a good amount of money once every 4 years.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, you told me about the Olympics. I was like, oh, damn, that's right. The Olympics are on. So I'm not even hearing anything about it. So and it's like one of those things where it's like, man, it sucks because these athletes dedicate so much for that.
So much.
And like, not, I mean, the Olympics don't pay them. They have to pay to get to the Olympics.
I mean, what's a gold medal worth? $25K, I think is what they get. Yeah. $30K. Like,
I don't know. But I think Team USA has a good chance to win in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like they got a strong wrestling team that they're putting out. So I'll be looking forward to seeing that. Yeah, man. Track. I love watching track. That's my one. And then, dude, for whatever reason, I love watching gymnastics too.
Yeah?
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. They're fucking good. They're good. I mean, I'm always like, shit I can't ever do. I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah, yeah. I'm right there with you. Track is probably my number one. Well, basketball is probably my number one. Yeah. unless we fucking beat South Sudan by only 1 point.
Right.
Basketball is my number one. I love track. There's nothing better than the 100-meter dash, bro. I mean, it's just the greatest thing ever. For 9 seconds or 10 seconds, it's like amazing. Swimming, I get really into like the medleys, like the relays and the medleys and all that stuff. That's fun. And then, I like wrestling. I'll watch the wrestling. Gymnastics, I mean, if it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm not like trying to tune in, you know what I mean? If it's on, I'll watch it.
I don't know, for whatever reason, man, I love watching the gymnastics though.
I mean, it's incredible to your point, like people swinging on bars and balance beams and all kind of crazy shit.
I just know like when you see how young they are and how talented you have to be at such a young age and what they put their bodies through. Yeah. You know, when my kids were in gymnastics, and I have like family friends with their kids, like the back injuries, the knee injuries. Like our babysitter was a high level gymnast. She went to BYU, but blew her back out like doing a flip, and her spine. I'm like, holy shit, the injuries that they take at such a young age. Yeah. I can't imagine what like a 40-year-old gymnast body feels like right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the wear and tear that they put on their bodies.
Ooh, yeah, that's tough.
Have you seen those videos of the Olympics gymnastics from like the 1900s versus like 2024? Like in the old days, it's just like one little vault, and now it's like just 37 flips. Bro, so crazy.
Can we talk about that for a second? I get so angry, and I probably shouldn't because it's dumb. But like when these old heads try to tell me that like fucking Bob Cousy could play in the NBA today. It's just like, what are we talking about? Like, to your point, like, do you think any gymnast from like 1940 can do anything that Simone Biles can do today? No. Hell no, bro. What are we talking about?
Right. You see the dude that's just like one hand dribbling.
Yes.
And just like turning corners just with one hand. Head down, no crossover, no behind the back, no nothing.
MMA is similar. And I know we have our like icons and stuff like that, but like, don't tell me that like
Tank Abbott's not beating
Francis Ngannou. Like what are we talking about? Like what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Oh man, it drives me nuts. It's like,
I mean, bro, even let's shorten the span. Like I don't think GSP's beating a lot of guys right now.
Probably not.
I mean,
probably not.
He's one of my top two.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably not. Like admire them for that time period. Sure. They were incredible for what they did in the 90s or 2000, but like
shit done changed,
bro. Don't try to tell me BJ Penn is beating Islam Makhachev in like anything.
Not happening.
Not even a jump roping competition.
Not happening.
So, anyway, did you get questions on the? I
didn't even look.
we can transition. We can cut this part out, but. Let's just skip that then, and let's talk about let's move on actually to what I sent you the other day on Twitter. I don't know if anyone out there saw this tweet from at On Point MMA, and it was someone's tweet that said the sport is barely watchable anymore, talking about UFC. And on a surface level, you're crazy. Right. The sport's on fire. It's as big as it's ever been. They're making money hand over fist. XYZ. But then you start to dig deeper into maybe some cards that are not pay-per-view quality or not ESPN quality.
Right.
So I just wanted to talk for a few moments about that because I think there is like some nuance to that.
Sure.
So I wanted to get your thoughts initially. Like, what do you make of UFC as it is right now?
Well, it's different from my standpoint.
Sure.
I don't watch all the fights. I watch fights that I think I need to keep my eye on. I watch matchup fights or guys that like were in the featherweight division or guys that like they could be possible opponents for my guys.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily watch the entire card at all.
Yeah.
But I'll maybe go through and thumbnail certain ones and go, okay, I need to keep an eye on this kid or this matchup or whatever. This might be a potential opponent of ours. I watch it a little differently.
Yeah.
So I think for the is it digestible for most viewers in watching this from top to bottom? Yeah. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. But I'm not watching all of them either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm setting an alarm, making sure I get this one, or I go back and watch it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be there right away to watch it. I can watch it at a later time.
Yeah.
I can understand both standpoints, but for my job, the fight's a fight. I think you can learn from anybody when you watch. I think you can gain some knowledge, But are you going to cancel your plans for this card
last night?
Last night?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, do I get to spend a night with the family and go do this and go do that? I went to the baseball game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like, I don't need to sit here and watch this card.
Right. Yeah, it's tough for me because on one hand, like, as I said, it's on fire right now. It's as popular as it's ever been. Holding events through COVID and having the Apex did wonders for them. It was the smartest thing they could have done. But at the same time, yeah, you see fights like last night. If your goal is to provide value, like to the consumer, it's tough to say because there's a lot of cards like last night throughout the year.
I don't even know who won the main event.
I don't even know who was in the main event. Yeah. So that's my point. I thought Brad was the main event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He kind of was.
Yeah. So, but I think that's the point too, is like you have some of these cards, like even the Brazil pay-per-view card, like you're charging people $80 to watch that pay-per-view card.
But let me play devil's advocate in a sense to where you now, Hyder Emil, right? The kid that won that the
freaking Rock'em Sock'em Robot fight? Yeah.
You get to steal the moments as a young kid that doesn't know. No one knows. We're butchering his name right now.
Right.
But you now are the highlight of Instagram, ESPN MMA. So for you young guys that maybe like not very well known, Steve Garcia, right? He had a great finish. There's guys on this card that now get to take advantage of the platform.
Yeah.
For this moment in time. Right? Because now you got to think. So you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The news cycle will shift for Tuesday.
Yep.
It immediately goes to Manchester.
Right.
So Luke Thomas, Ariel, all the boys are going to be talking about the card on Monday, tomorrow, about what happened.
Yeah.
So if you're one of these young guys on this lackluster type of card, you need to think from perspective standpoint. Okay, I can steal the headlines right now. I can I can at least have 4 or 5 days with my names in the headlines, or on guys are going to be talking about the finish and everything else. So that's important for some of these guys.
100%, I get that, but I also think to the opposite side of that, like you can have those moments on big cards, where more eyeballs are watching, and you have people in the arena, right. So. I don't know, Manel is on the prelims. Right. But if he goes out there and has like this crazy performance and starches homeboy, it doesn't matter what happens. Like people are still going to talk about that moment, and he'll have a ton of eyeballs on him. Yeah. I guess I see what you're saying. Like he could be the sole star of the show on a smaller Apex card, as opposed to part of the conversation on a bigger card. Right.
Well, because I mean now you got Manel, but then then look, 2 fights later you got King Green and Paddy. Yeah. Right. So you, like the news cycle shifts and the eyeballs go. You know, and I think that's a lot of the fans' gripes. You got to remember when we were coming up in this sport, you got a pay-per-view once a quarter. Right. Right? Right. Like it was like, man, I can't wait for that UFC 7, and that was it. There was no other fights in between that time. You didn't get to watch any of it. Now you're talking, we didn't have a fight on July 4th and people were just like, hey man, where's the fight card? Yeah. Like, well, which is it? Yeah. Right? Do we want fights or do we not want fights? The roster's huge. Yeah. Right? Now you got Dana White Contender Series coming up this summer. Yeah. You got more fights coming up. Yeah. Now you got more prospects coming in. Yeah. Now they're going to have to book more. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a cycle.
It's like, do you want volume or value? Right. Right. I mean, because you could, I don't think they actually can shrink their number of cards per year because of like contracts with ESPN and Abu Dhabi and Saudi and stuff like that. But that is like the question. Do you want volume? Where's my hit on July 4th? Right. Or do you want value? Where
that was like, a classic. Yeah. Apex. Yeah. Let's just contractually get a card out of the way, right? Yeah. And then move on to the next, because you're not selling out a Salt Lake City with that main event. No. I mean,
financially, it's brilliant for them.
Yeah, 100%.
They save a ton of money. Right. The main event probably weren't even the highest paid people on the card. Actually, maybe now that like someone like Brad was off or something.
Well, don't forget what that card was supposed to look like.
I don't even know. Dan was supposed to be on it.
Ige, Brad. I mean, there was some meat and potatoes. To help carry. Sure. Right, and then even Ige was like, bro, I would sell a way better main event. Yeah. Like and Chepe could have been a way better main event,
right?
At least, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, it is what it is. They did what they had to do. I thought there were some very good fights that came out of that. You know?
Yeah, there were some good performances.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see what the fans like temperature is on it, because it's volume or is it value?
Right.
Like what do you want?
I mean, do you think it's like a net positive overall? Because obviously they're having all of these fights, and I'm looking at this from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
Because of the ESPN contract. The ESPN contract, they get their money no matter what. Whether the fight sells out or whether it's at the Apex, they get paid.
Yeah.
But that's given them the ability to have to have these other guys with the roster being so big that's going to continue to grow in the long run, and the expected value of the 10, 20 years down the road. Is it a net positive to have so many cards, even if they are underwhelming 20% of the time, 30% of the time?
I think so, because it's like these guys that probably are not household names, and maybe they still aren't. They got some eyes.
Yeah.
They got some moments last night. They got some clicks. They got some new followers. And I think it's important for some of these young guys to be able to get this opportunity.
For the UFC and for the athletes, yes, it's a net positive, because financially, for the athletes, visibility, to stay active, to your point, some of these guys need fights. Yeah. But for the consumer, no. I mean, yeah, I guess it just depends. You're gonna in my opinion, you may not be able to consistently grow the fan base like you think you can with these type of cards. Whereas if you shrink it a little bit and provide more valuable cards, like more stacked cards, like a 303 or 300, then you're turning some casuals into more of like your demographic, if you will, like your normal fans. So yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because there's sides to both of it. I don't think one side's right or wrong.
Yeah.
To push back on you a little bit, is right now the super fans are still getting their hits. You know what I'm saying?
The super fans.
And the casuals are as well. Because the super fan is going to watch last night, but the casual's going to watch next week.
Right.
So both people are getting their hits.
Yeah.
But is the casual going to watch next week? That's the thing. Like, is Leon that guy? He should be that guy. Is he? Don't think so. But Aspinal, he needs the rub from someone, and he hasn't really fought big name. I mean, he's fought everyone they put in front of him, but he hasn't fought the name. You know what I mean? He hasn't got the name.
But unfortunately, the promotion is devaluing Tom by putting
my point.
Exactly.
That's my point. I mean, there's too much sometimes.
If the heavyweight champion now has the true, like, he's defending the belt, then it has more validity to it. Right. But just by the promotion alone, not moving the division, Tom Aspinall is not going to have the opportunity to grow.
Yeah. So, I mean, is the casual tuning in next week? I don't think so. Are they tuning into 303? I think Pajeda's crossed over into that casual stratosphere. Are they going to tune into whatever the Izzy fight is? Probably. Connor in December? Probably. John in November? Probably. But, okay, what else you got? Is Islam crossed over like that? I don't think so. I think Poirier's the A side in a fight like that. Like, he has that crossover appeal. It's just interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just think it's an interesting topic to really touch on, because, you know, it could be bigger, but then again, you got to provide volume for all these guys. Sure. So I think that's a good place to end it.
Cool.
I think that's a good place to end it. So yeah, we'll can it there. Good luck in Manchester.
Thank you.
Safe flight tomorrow.
68 degrees.
Is it?
Cold,
you get some nice refreshing weather.
The best I got a text from Tom Aspinall. He's like, don't expect a lot of things to do here. Like, I was like, oh.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I went to Manchester when I was with UFC.
Yeah.
For the Bisping Dan Henderson rematch fight.
Yeah.
We had a good old time.
Did you?
We had a really good time.
All right.
So there's a lot. Manchester is from what I remember, and I've been there a couple times since, but not in that capacity.
Right.
It's more of the party city as opposed to London.
Oh, yeah.
Like, London's posh and has like the cool lounges and stuff.
Yeah.
Manchester's more like the UFC fan, you know?
Yeah.
Like, more. I think you'll have a good time in Manchester.
That's why
there's
I
good
told
places
Tom.
to eat. There's obviously like a lot of entertainment, bars, all kind of stuff.
But I want good food.
Yeah.
Win fights.
Well,
That's
good food in England is not. They don't go hand in hand.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. That's
English food sucks, but there are some good places. The bars are awesome.
All right.
So yeah, I think you'll have a good time. Right. It's cool. Anyway, that does it for this episode of Verse Us with Eric Nixick. Please make sure you like and subscribe and leave comments below on topics you want us to discuss or guests you want us to have. Make sure you follow at VSUS Pod on all social media. Download and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all of them. And we'll see you next Sunday after UFC Manchester. For Eric, I'm Randy. We'll see you guys next week.